Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are. So let's put this in perspective here. What do y'all think?
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it.
Carrie Underwood is not playing around. She has officially filed a massive $900 million defamation lawsuit against The View. And if you thought this was going to be just another celebrity lawsuit that fades into the background, think again. This is big. This is career-changing, show-destroying, and network-shaking big. Because for once, a celebrity is actually standing up to the reckless smear tactics that certain media outlets have been getting away with for years. And she's not just doing it for herself. This lawsuit could change how talk shows operate moving forward. It all started with what should have been a completely harmless performance. Carrie Underwood, a woman who has spent her entire career staying out of drama and minding her own business, was invited to sing America the Beautiful at Donald Trump's presidential inauguration. Now, let's be real. This was not some shocking, unheard-of move. Over the years, dozens of artists have performed at various inaugurations, regardless of who was in office. Beyoncé sang for Obama. Aretha Franklin sang for Obama. Barbra Streisand and Fleetwood Mac sang for Bill Clinton. Bruce Springsteen performed at Joe Biden's. These are just standard moments in American history, where music and patriotism come together in a non-political way. But the second Carrie took that stage, The View saw an opportunity to twist the narrative. Instead of treating it like the routine, traditional performance that it was, the host took it several steps too far. They dragged Carrie through the mud in a way that felt way more personal than professional. They didn't just question her decision, they went on national television and made wild, unfounded accusations about her career, her character, and even her fan base. One of them suggested that she had alienated her supporters, implying that her audience, people who have supported her for years, would suddenly turn against her for simply singing a song. Another one of them outright accused her of being a closet Trump supporter, as if performing at a presidential event means you personally endorse everything that politician stands for. It was nasty, it was mean-spirited, and most of all, it was completely false. And let's not forget the mockery. The hosts of The View didn't just criticize Carrie, they ridiculed her, they rolled their eyes, they laughed at her expense, and they acted like her career was over just because she dared to accept an invitation to sing at an event that thousands of people were attending. One even sarcastically questioned if she'd be singing at MAGA rallies next, completely dismissing the fact that Carrie has never once been publicly political. She's never spoken out in favor of any candidate, she's never used her platform for partisan purposes, and she's certainly never endorsed Trump or anyone else.
And normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion. I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
A lot of my family voted for Trump. They love the country and vote for him. I think that people make these decisions for a lot of reasons.
Okay, fine. And I would not be the person to say don't do it, because I believe in free speech and everything about it. I personally would not do it. No one's asked me, but that's another story.
I would love for you to do a roast at the Trump inauguration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no one else had any
So there we are.
No, we've had people like Reba McEntire come on and say that, she doesn't want to talk about politics. She just wants to sing, she wants to perform, she wants to make people feel good. And I respect that. And then we've had people like Dolly Parton, and I think you asked her,
Are you a feminist?
Are you a feminist? And she said,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But then you pushed her, and she said, yeah, I guess I am.
Well, I said to her, do you believe that women should make the same amount of money as men? Well, I guess I am a feminist.
Yeah, and she said, I guess I am a feminist. So I think people feel pretty strongly about it. I think art is art, and you have a right to perform where you want to perform.
I'll say this. What Joy is up to is nothing more than selfish personal publicity gain right now. She wants to attach her name to Carrie Underwood's name so that she maintains relevance because they know the ship is sinking.
The View is not a moral authority on anything. I mean, the day I look to Joy Behar for life advice is the day I retire.
It's as though the election never stopped for them. And they just cling to their hatred of Donald Trump, which is fine. I have no problem with that at all. But like a lot of these late night comedy shows that no longer have anybody watching them, and they're officially on cancellation notice because they're not going to survive with the numbers that they're getting. I don't think The View will survive ultimately either.
I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, they wouldn't ask me, so I have nothing to say.
Yeah. They're not asking any of us.
No, you do what you do. Listen, it's like, people do what they do for whatever reasons. It's like Joe and Mika.
Yeah.
They did what they did. They felt that's what they needed to do, and I got to stand behind them.
Yeah.
And I stand behind her not, because if I believe I have the right to make up my mind to go perform someplace, I believe they have the same right.
Of course.
And so
That's
I have
true.
to, I have to support. Doesn't mean I'm particularly interested in what I won't be watching, but that's me.
Yeah, I've scheduled a spa day.
I'm not even going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm not telling. No, because it was always in the books. Who knew this was going to be the day that it shows? Because it's also a very interesting day, right? The 21st.
It's Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you can choose to celebrate it how you want. You can honor MLK.
I'm going to honor him and at the
and
spa.
get a spa
At the spa.
treatment.
Well, as long as it's a free country and it holds,
Yes.
I would agree with everybody. It is a free country at the moment.
Well, yeah, but it's up to us to make sure that doesn't start to change.
Yes.
Right.
Well,
that's
we're trying.
Well, we're trying, yes, and it's important not to forget that we have that right. It is up to us.
Yeah.
Now, there are other people performing too, and I don't really even want to bring it up. I don't.
But none of that mattered to The View. They saw an opportunity to create controversy where there was none, and they ran with it. Now, let's talk about what happened after all of that. Carrie could have let it slide. She could have ignored them, knowing full well that their opinions don't define her career. But the problem is, in today's world, it's not just about one segment on one talk show. That kind of reckless gossip spreads like wildfire. Suddenly, headlines were popping up everywhere, framing Carrie as a divisive figure, a problematic artist, and even a sellout. She started receiving tons of online hate from people who didn't even watch her performance. Just people who took The View's word as gospel and assumed she must have done something truly awful. And that's where this stopped being just another example of biased media and became defamation. But here's where it gets even crazier. After months of backlash, The View realized that they might have gone too far. And so, in the most half-hearted, bare minimum way possible, they attempted an apology. One of the hosts vaguely admitted that they may have misinterpreted Carrie's intentions and that their remarks were made in the heat of the moment. But notice what they didn't say. They didn't say they lied. They didn't say they spread false information. They didn't acknowledge how they harmed Carrie's reputation. They just brushed it off as if it were some casual mistake, a simple oopsie that everyone should just move past. But Carrie wasn't about to let them off the hook that easily.
Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are. So let's put this in perspective here. What do y'all think?
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning, so she's overnight going to become an icon of MAGA and the American right. She's probably going to make a lot of money off of it. So I get why she did it.
I say.
I mean, right? It's kind music, I think
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't do it, even though I
You
can't
would not sing?
No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
A lot of my family voted for Trump. They love the country and vote for him. I think that people make these decisions
Fine.
for a lot of reasons.
Okay, fine. And I would not be the person to say don't do it, because I believe in free speech and everything about it. I personally would not do it. No one's asked me, but that's another story.
I would love for you to do a roast at the Trump inauguration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no one else had any
So there we are.
thoughts?
No, we've had people like Reba McEntire come on
Yes.
and say that, she doesn't want to talk about politics. She just wants to sing. She wants to.
Instead of backing down, she fast-tracked the legal process, making it crystal clear that this wasn't about getting a weak apology. This was about holding them accountable. And she's not asking for a small settlement. She's going for $900 million. That's right, $900 million. And while some people might think that number is outrageous, the reality is, it's not just about the money. It's about sending a message. It's about letting major media platforms know that they can't just throw baseless accusations at people without consequences.